Everyone, welcome to the show. So, the Trump administration is completely out of control. I know you're probably saying, tell me something I didn't know, Gina. But yeah, it could not be more obvious. Trump and his minions are complete and total fascists. It's just that simple. And it's so bad. They have so overstepped their bounds that even a MAGA friendly judge is now calling them out. So I'm going to get into all the details on that. Before I do, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button below this video. It is free to subscribe. It helps the show so much. And as always, a major thank you to everyone who supports the show with donations. So here's what's going on and how bad things have gotten. You may have heard by now that Trump's Justice Department just arrested two judges, and they arrested the wife of one of the judges. If you hadn't heard about this, the most widely discussed case is the arrest of a Milwaukee Circuit Court judge. Her name is Hannah Dugan. Dugan is accused by the Trump DOJ of helping an undocumented immigrant evade arrest. So the man appeared in her court. He was there for a hearing on a matter, and I will say he is accused of some sort of simple assault. ICE agents were waiting out in the hallway. They were waiting to arrest and deport him. So this is something that we've been seeing over the past couple months, that they are going to hearings where some of these people are going to already be, has nothing to do with their status as an immigrant or, being undocumented or anything else, but they know where they're going to be. And so they go and they arrest them and then deport them. So the DOJ is saying, well, Judge Dugan directed this immigrant and his attorney to leave her courtroom through a different door so that he could avoid arrest. But even a Trump-loving right-wing judge, who you may have heard of, Andrew Napolitano, he says the Trump administration is overreaching on this. So check out what he had to say. He was on Newsmax, and here's what he told them and his take on this case.
The other case involving the Wisconsin judge is a bit equivocal, in my view. An administrative warrant is not an arrest warrant. No judge would recognize an administrative warrant. So she's on the bench. There's a commotion in the hallway involving the person who is in front of her, the defendant who's in front of her, for some sort of a low-level assault and battery. She goes out to see what the commotion is, and they say, we're here to arrest this guy. And she basically says, well, you're not going to interrupt with my proceeding. We don't permit arrests in the courtroom. You can wait in the hallway, or you can wait for him outside. Let me see your arrest warrant. We don't have one. They have this administrative warrant, which is basically one ICE agent authorizing another ICE agent to detain someone. So I don't think there's a crime here. I think she has immunity. She can decide how a person leaves her courtroom.
So likely a bogus arrest, not bogus, and to make a point. Right. I mean, we know what this is about. This is meant to scare other judges, scare them into complying with these unconstitutional actions. And so the other judge who was arrested, it's a judge named Joel Cano, I think is how you pronounce it. Anyway, I guess he's a former judge now, because when this whole thing came out, he decided to step down. But he and his wife were arrested, and they're accused of harboring an undocumented immigrant in his home. The thing is, though, he had a guest house on his property, and the people that they were looking for were immigrants. This judge didn't know if they were undocumented. He didn't know what their affiliation was, if at all, with a gang. But the Trump administration is making it out like, oh, he knew they were, not only undocumented immigrants, but they were Tren de Aragua gang members, and he was harboring them. The guy was like, look, I just rented my guest house to these guys. They had done some work on my house, and they seemed like decent people. And so I rented out my guest house. They were even playing with my grandchildren. Do you really think I would let these people play with my grandchildren if I knew that they were gang members? And here's the thing. How many times have we heard this now? Oh, they're violent gang members. Oh, these are the worst of the worst. Yeah. And then we find out, oh, they just had a tattoo. So, not buying it. I am not buying it anymore. Basically, according to the Trump administration, anyone with brown skin is a gang member. They're so full of shit. They are now the boy who cried wolf at this point. And here's the thing, like, if our country was really being overrun by this many Tren de Aragua and MS-13 gang members, then why weren't those planes that went to El Salvador filled with those people? Why are we finding now that up to 90% of them have no criminal history and are not gang members? According to independently verified reports by different news outlets, the vast majority, up to, somewhere between 75 and 90%, are not criminals, have no history of criminality in our country or in any other country, are not gang members. Some of them, the farthest thing from it, a gay hairdresser. And yet, we're so overrun with these violent criminals and these gang members. Okay, well then why don't you deport them? Why don't you send them to El Salvador? Why are you so desperate to boost your numbers that you're rounding up just random people who've done nothing wrong? If there's so many in America, what are you doing? Why are you taking innocent people? Obviously, there must not be that many gang members in America. Otherwise, they would have taken them, right? Or are they just too smart for the Trump administration? They're too smart and they're able to hide out and evade arrest. Says a lot about Donald Trump's people, doesn't it? Anyway, this whole thing may not matter, though. What people think, the polling, Judge Napolitano, because they are using full-blown Banana Republic Soviet-style tactics. In a White House press briefing just today, this happened this morning, Trump's press secretary, she would not dismiss the idea of arresting federal judges or even members of the Supreme Court. Check out what she said. This was her response when Fox journalist Peter Baker raised this question. And by the way, I removed her dribble in the middle because she was going on and on about Judge Dugan and, she broke the law and blah, blah, blah. I mean, just BS. So anyway, I didn't want to like destroy your eardrums, make you listen to all of that and, scramble your brains. But anyway, here's her direct response to what he asked her.
You guys arrested a Milwaukee County circuit judge for allegedly helping illegal immigrants get away. As you guys look at other judges, would you ever arrest somebody higher up on the judicial food chain, like a federal judge or even a Supreme Court justice?
And so anyone who is breaking the law or obstructing federal law enforcement officials from doing their jobs is putting themselves at risk of being prosecuted, absolutely.
So these people, there is no limit. There's nothing they won't stoop to. There's no height they won't climb. I mean, they're monsters. And the Supreme Court created these monsters. And now they themselves are in jeopardy of being destroyed by their own creation. Because are they saying, like, if the Supreme Court actually grows a pair of ovaries and steps up and says, yeah, you absolutely must bring Abrego Garcia home to the U.S., are they saying they're going to go arrest Supreme Court justices? And this isn't the only overreach that we've seen in just the past week. Trump also ordered his Justice Department to investigate Act Blue. And for those who don't know, it's just a fundraising site. It is literally just like a framework, like a software that's used by the Democrats and for their candidates to take in money. So Trump made up some BS excuse that, oh, well, they're accepting illegal campaign contributions. We all know what this is about. This is about Trump trying to stop the midterm slaughter that is absolutely, undoubtedly coming for the MAGA Republican Party. This is election interference, plain and simple. And Trump's Justice Department did something else this past week. They just rescinded a policy that was established under the Biden administration. This policy protected journalists from having their devices seized by law enforcement. So this is another obvious power grab. It is meant to chill free speech. It's meant to chill freedom of the press to report on the Trump administration. Because imagine, I mean, now journalists are going to think twice if they have a source. If somebody comes to them and says, hey, I work in the Trump administration and I want to give you some information about some shady stuff or illegal stuff that's going down and what they're up to. Now they're going to be terrified. They're going to be like, okay, well, if I publish this story, is the Trump administration going to come after me and seize my device? And then they're going to find out who leaked the information and they'll go after that person. So it prevents the people who want to leak from coming forward, and it prevents the press from publishing their stories. It could not get more authoritarian and more fascist than it is. And that is not hyperbole. I am not exaggerating. I mean, I guess the only thing left, the next level, would be rounding people up. Rounding up innocent people and journalists and either jailing them or killing them. That's where we're headed. This is the slippery slope that we are on right now. And the Republicans, where are they? Republican Congress members could stop this today. They could put an end to it and say, enough is enough. You are destroying what we've built over 200 years in this country and this democracy, and it is terrifying and it is fascist, and we're not going to go along with it. And they could put an end to it. They could join forces with the Democrats and put an end to this. They're totally fine with it. They're either totally fine or they're too weak, and they don't have the spine. All right, guys. Like I keep saying, I wish I had better news, but I've got to be honest with you, tell you where we're at as a country. So thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, even though the content sucks. Hopefully not because of me, but because of, what Trump is up to. But anyway, please hit the like button. Like I said, please subscribe if you have not. Share this with other people. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.